Hello, and welcome to my show. In a world of madness, I'm not going to say we're being much more sane here, but can we at least have fun tonight? Shall we do that? Hello, Amy, my niece. What's going on? Mark Halford, Channel 4. What's going on? How has your day been? What did you do today? Well, I'll tell you what I did. I have a job outside of the home, and I went in for the second time, and I wasn't supposed to go in today. The schedule's a little confusing, and my wife says, no, you got to go in, you got to go in. So I go in, and no, not scheduled to work. So anyway, I'm back home again. And so what I've been able to do, and pardon my casual garb, I'm just wearing a T-shirt tonight. I'm like Adam, or what's his name from American Idol? You know, Simon. Yeah, Simon. Got my Wendy's large Diet Coke here. Let's see if I won something. There's some sort of a contest here for official rules. Wendy's, take your shot. Take your shot is what it is. Let me see what I won. A free croissant sandwich. Look at that there, people. I frickin' want a croissant sandwich. You think you're having a bad day? Well, you know what? Not anymore. I got a croissant sandwich. I'm going to Wendy's. They've got a new breakfast thing. I hear the breakfast is great. Hello. Anyway, welcome to the show. We got a lot of things to concern ourselves with. A lot of things that we want to talk about with regard to the stimulus package that the United States Congress has passed. The Senate voted on today. It's going to have to, I guess, go back to the House tomorrow and the whole deal. And ultimately, many of us who don't make couples under $150,000, individuals under $75,000 a year, get $1,200 of your own money back. And we're supposed to be grateful to the American government. We are supposed to be grateful that the United States government has told us that we need to shut down our businesses, that we need to quarantine at home, that we cannot make a living, that we are going to go ultimately broke. We won't be able to pay our bills. But because the government has suddenly decided to let you have some of your money back in the form of a government check. See, I don't look at it as a government check or just as like money. I look at it as something that I've already paid for. This is my money they're giving back to me, and I'm not going to be grateful for it. Do I hope this will actually work? Sure. Did they pork the hell out of this bill? Oh yeah, big time, ridiculous. So anyway, if you would, as the evening progresses here, and I hope to be here for a little while, maybe an hour, will you pass this along to other people who might be watching on the internet? Because not only am I going to provide you some perspective that I don't believe you'll get elsewhere, but also maybe some positivity, maybe even some fun. Okay? I was out today. I noticed that people were actually walking around the neighborhood. I'm going to again stick to my guns and say that the reaction to this pandemic has been overdone. It has been overdone. There is the biggest shutdown of the United States economy in the history of the United States economy, and this does not merit it. And when this is all said and done, I hope to be able to dance around and say, you know what, you guys are a bunch of idiots. In the words of Hancock from the movie Hancock, but with Will Smith, you are all idiots. That's what I want to say to the people who freaked out and said this is the end of the world as we know it. Now, do I want to tempt fate? No. Do I want to get this virus? No. Are people getting sick? Oh, hell yeah. Are people dying? Yes. Compared to the H1N1 flu that I had in 2000? I think it was 2010 is when I got it. I had pneumonia. I had bubbles in my lungs. I had a fever. I had the whole deal. Wrote it out. Took some Zithro, which is what the doctor told me. And Zithro is one of the drugs that they are being tested with some anti-malarials, among other things. And I remember being very, 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 very sick. I don't recall with 61 million people who had H1N1 and 12 to 15,000 that died that everything shut down. Hello, Marty. Thanks for joining me. Here are the numbers, 529,591. Since last weekend, that number has increased by 129,000 in the entire world of 7.5 billion people. It's still a pinprick. Total deaths, 24,000. It's awful. That sucks. 122,000 have recovered. Cases in the U.S. are increasing dramatically. Yes, and I will ask you this, please keep those states that are most afflicted in your prayers. For instance, New York. All right, we've had 83,000 people in the entire country get this virus. 1,200 have died. It's awful. About 700 recovered, and that's all we have right now. The data is very thin right now. Again, it is not 61 million people. But yes, we do need to be concerned. We do need to be concerned, and we need to help each other out. Now, jobless claims, not a big surprise, soared to 3 million. Why did that happen? Well, because the government said you can't work. The government said you have to stay home. The government said, for the first time in history, that you have to go home. You have to sequester yourself. In some municipalities, including Chicago, they're going to start fining you if you're out walking about. All right? This is a massive, massive grab of your freedom, and I'm not meaning to sound... and listen, I'm very adept, and I'm very cognizant of sounding like Alex effing Jones, and I am not that. However, I'm not going to have the effing government tell me that I have to sit in my house. It takes away so many of my rights. It's not even funny, including 1, 2. I'm talking about your rights, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, among others. Jobless claims 3 million people. Shatters the Great Recession peak of 665,000 2009, all-time mark of 695,000 in 1982. And again, I think it's bull crap. Hello, David Craig. How are you, my brother? Glad to have you joining me tonight. Glad to have you joining me. We all just need to calm the F down. Coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to share with you. The governor of New York is saying, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have told everybody to stay home. And when this is all said and done, I think a lot of people are going to say, what the hell? All right? And I think that a lot of governors and a lot of mayors and a lot of politicians are going to have to answer the questions, why in the F did we act like this in the first time in history? World War I, World War II, Civil War. Never had this sort of attempt to take away our freedoms and success, by the way. We went quietly into the night. Oh, yeah, government? Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and stay home. Oh, I'll just go ahead and shut my business. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just shut everything down. And I'm going to let people are going to go crazy. They're going to buy toilet paper, and they're going to buy firearms. Soon, we're going to wake up from this nightmare, and we're going to go, what the hell? And I want some people to be held accountable. That's it. So there was a big Senate vote today, and apparently it's got to go to the House and a whole bunch of other crap. And you're going to be waiting a couple of weeks for your $1,200 government check. And haven't government checks solved everything? Here's a little bit from the glorious swamp dwellers in the Senate.
I'm proud to announce tonight not a single senator voted against this $2 trillion rescue bill to save American individuals, small businesses, large businesses.
Will you just open your mouth when you talk?
And to provide considerable funding for the health care.
I think there's somebody's hand is up his rear end to make him talk.
Workers, and the scientists, and the doctors, and others who are trying.
How inspirational. I mean, honestly, how inspirational. This is almost as inspirational as in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Bueller. Actually, this is much less exciting.
To solve this pandemic. So I think if I were writing your headline, I'd say the Senate has pivoted from one of the most contentious, partisan periods in the nation's history to passing this rescue package 100-0.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. That was Mitch McConnell speaking. Wow, that was inspirational. Doesn't that make you? I mean, it's almost as good as the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, right? No, not so much. $2.2 trillion of your money, 96-0, and this is the pablum that will calm the people. It'll give you a $1,200 check, and some people, this is a big deal. Man, you don't get $1,200 checks very often. Trust me, I understand this. Most Americans are going to get this expanded unemployment benefits, $367 billion program for $1 billion program for small businesses to keep making payroll while workers stay at home. So there you go. You know, it's government money. It's not your money, right? Oh yeah, it's your money. It's your money. President talked about this is yesterday about how many who are, and let's just face it, a lot of people have been rooting for his failure since day one. They've been rooting for his failure. They were looking at impeachment. They were looking at the Trump-Russia collusion, then the impeachment, and now, oh my God, let's hope and pray to Satan, if you're a Democrat, that things go to hell and that people go out of business and people get infected by this disease. And I do not doubt this one little bit. I honestly do not. When I look at the leadership of the Democrat Party in Washington, D.C., if they don't care about babies dying in the womb, why should they care about you catching coronavirus if you're elderly? Why should they give a flying crap? If you are elderly, you're 90 years old, all you are is a burden to the government, to the Democrat Party. Your life is worthless because you have outlived your usefulness. Here is Donald Trump being questioned by a reporter. I don't know who this is, but she's obviously right out of college, maybe just finished her internship, talking about all the crap he's had to go through and essentially all the fake news and the rooting against him by the national media.
Is this Easter timeline based on your political interests?
What do you mean by election success? No.
So the president had the audacity to say that he hoped that church pews would be filled by Easter. Lawrence O'Donnell, who is a radical leftist communist and needs a smack upside the head, said that because Donald Trump wanted people to be in the church pews, he was hoping and praying to God that in the church pews they would be filled by Easter. Lawrence O'Donnell said if that happened on Easter Sunday, just 19 days from now, then in May, you'd have millions of dead people all over the country. Millions. According to Lawrence O'Donnell, if you have packed churches all over the country, including California, on Easter Sunday, by May there would be 1 million dead in California. This is Lawrence effing O'Donnell, who has a show on MSNBC, and he's predicting death. Wow. He said churches are not going to be packed all over, are not going to be packed all over the country on Easter. The Pope has canceled public Easter Sunday services at the Vatican, and he did it 2 weeks ago. And Donald Trump wants you in a packed church in America on Easter Sunday. The Pope doesn't want you to go to church, to die by going to church, but Donald Trump does. Donald Trump does. He wants you to die at church.
You said that the media wants the country to remain closed to hurt your odds
No,
of
I think
being
the
reelected.
media. The media would like to see me do poorly in the election. I think
That's without a doubt.
And
I
economists
think
on both
that-
sides of the aisle have said that reopening the country by Easter is not a good idea.
But no, not everybody has said that, and I'm going to share, actually, the governor of New York saying, you know, I kind of screwed up by telling everybody to stay home.
What is that plan based on?
just so you understand. Are you ready? I think there are certain people that would like it not to open so quickly. I think there are certain people,
I think you're pretty much right. I'm thinking there are a lot of people who would love this to last through November.
people that would like it to do financially poorly because they think that would be very good as far as defeating me at the polls.
Amen.
And I don't know if that's so, but I do think it's so that a lot of
I think it's very so.
there are people in your profession that would like that to happen. I think it's very clear. I think it's very clear that there are people in your profession that write fake news. You do.
Ooh.
She does. There are people in your profession that write fake news. They would love to see me for whatever reason, because we've done one hell of a job. Nobody's done the job that we've done. And it's lucky that you have this group here right now for this problem, or you wouldn't even have a country left, okay?
Woo! That's being, what, taken to the woodshed? Is that the thing? I don't know. Woodshed. Hey, Chad. Hey, Adrian. Hey, David. What's going on? How are you guys? Welcome to the show. Please share with other people, because you know what? I am an independent broadcaster. I have a home studio, and I'm going to share with you very shortly. This is kind of fun. A lot of newscasters, including my friend Mark Alford from Channel 4, they've had to do their shows from home. And when you see these multi-million-dollar name, maybe Mark, you do well, but maybe you're not like number one anchor on Fox making $1 billion a year. You're still freaking amazing, and I love you. But in a shortly, I'm going to share Shannon Bream, the show on Fox News she does, doing her show from a guest bedroom. You've got to see the video. Oh my God, it's so fantastic. Here is the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, saying, maybe I shouldn't have, told everybody to stay home. Maybe quarantining everybody wasn't a good idea. And again, as this progresses, I'm going to want people to not only go, wow, what the hell we were thinking, but I want people to pay for this. Here is Andrew Cuomo talking about maybe he shouldn't have shut the whole damn state down.
What we did was we closed everything down. That was our public health strategy. Just close everything.
And that's called freaking out. I'm just going to go ahead and chime in. That's called completely freaking out, like there are zombies attacking, and you probably didn't need to do that.
All businesses, all workers, young people, old people, short people, tall people, every school, close.
Damn short people.
Everything. If you rethought that or had time to analyze.
Are you already having second thoughts? I'm actually surprised you had first thoughts.
That public health strategy. I don't know that you would say quarantine everyone. I don't even know that was the best public health policy. Young people then quarantined with older people was probably not the best public health strategy because the younger people could have been exposing the older people to an infection. So how do you modify the public health strategy to make it smarter from a public health point of view?
Well, you get the government out of it. If you want anything to be smarter, you probably want to get the government out. Yeah, pretty much.
But also starts to get you back to work. Younger people can go back to work. People who have resolved can go back to work. People who...
What? Go back to work? Hi, Kendall. How you doing, buddy?
Once we get this antibody test, show that they had the virus and they resolved, can go back to work. That's how I think you do it. It's not... We're going to either do public health or we're going to do economic development, restarting. We have to do both.
Okay. Now, the president had the audacity to say that we could be able to maybe fill the pews on Easter morning. I'm kind of a big believer in the whole God and, Jesus. I'm Christian, but, I kind of believe in a higher power because, honestly, we're not the higher power. Anyway, and so I'm hoping, and I'm not a doomsayer, and Lawrence O'Donnell, I mentioned earlier, he says that if people sit in the pews at church, 1 million people will die. Lawrence O'Donnell is an effing socialist atheist, okay? Okay, so Lawrence O'Donnell can suck it as far as I'm concerned. I think this is going to turn around, and I have nothing to go on but paying attention to things that are going on in the news, paying attention to some trials that have been done around the world, including in Australia a couple of weeks ago, and also just look at the gosh darn numbers. Look at the numbers; they do not merit this sort of a reaction. Kendall Culbertson is is watching tonight. Kendall, how you doing, buddy? He owns Outlaw Cigar. I did a video from Outlaw Cigar yesterday. A small business owner, one of the most glorious places ever to go, where you can go and sit in the comfort of leather chairs in front of big screen TVs and enjoy a glorious cigar. It is wonderful. I found this place 5 years ago when I moved to Kansas City, and it flies in the face of all the bull crap, the political correctness that all of us have, and black, white, male, female, trans, whatever. You can go have a cigar there. All right? It's a wonderful place. They're open. You can go buy a cigar. You just can't go sit in the lounge because, for God's sake, you might become a zombie and die. All right. Here's a report about Donald Trump saying that people should be ready by Easter to get back in the pews and start living life again. And I'm going to tell you, this is a growing movement. People are saying, you know what have we done? What have we surrendered already? What have we surrendered already? People in the Midwest are going, what have we already surrendered? People in my neighborhood today, I was walking around, mowing their yards, out and about, and I'd make jokes. I said, keep your social distance. And a lot of people, they're crying bullshit. They're crying bullshit. Here is a report, I believe it's the CBS, talking about how Donald Trump thinks that we should all die by going to church on Easter. And of course, Joe Biden, the last thing the Democrat Party and Joe Biden wants is positivity.
Late today, President Trump said he thinks some sections of the country might be able to get back to work before others.
She might be actually be doing this from her master bathroom, just because all of these people, this is Norah O'Donnell, might be at home in her master bath.
But his likely opponent in the fall, Joe Biden, tells CBS News that
his likely opponent in the fall. Now, the reason why he's the likely opponent is because he may not live that long.
the president is wrong to raise hopes of an early end to restrictions. Major Garrett reports tonight from the White House.
It's not about that. It's not about taking the restrictions and ending them early. It's about living our gosh darn lives and realizing that we have all overreacted to this.
People are asking, is that an alternative? I say absolutely.
Hi, Carol.
It is an alternative.
Eager to sound optimistic amid more state stay-at-home orders, President Trump again said he hopes to get the economy reopened soon.
The more lives we can save and the sooner we can eventually get people back to work, back to school, and back to normal. And there are large sections of our country probably can go back much sooner than other sections.
What? They'll all die!
Health officials continue to push back on the president's suggestion that Easter could be a COVID-19 turning point.
Kind of Christian. It's kind of a, maybe there's some sort of significance there, but here's the head of the WHO,
The last thing any country needs is to open schools and businesses only to be forced to close them again
is he Dracula?
because of a resurgence.
In an interview with CBS News, Democratic presidential frontrunner Joe Biden
Hold on, he's going to try and be lucid for more than 30 seconds.
said the president's optimism carried genuine risks.
The only thing we can do worse than telling the American people the truth is, in fact, raise false hopes. And then when it doesn't occur, they go, oh, my God, something really must be worse than I thought it was.
Biden also faulted the president's approach to daily coronavirus briefings.
I just wish he would introduce those briefings and step aside and let Dr. Fauci and the experts speak.
Biden also told us that, in his opinion, COVID-19 is the largest crisis America has faced in modern times, and he could not...
You know what? Who cares what Joe Biden has to say at this point? He doesn't even know what he's saying. Everything he's saying right now is for an extra applesauce at the nursing home. And I take that from my friend Chris Plant. Everything that he's like, extra applesauce, ooh, I can get my choice of applesauce or Jell-O tonight if I say the right thing. Because honestly, Joe Biden, wow. Now, I've got some good news I want to share with you. Before I get to Professor Joe Biden today, either it was today or yesterday, said that after he left the vice presidency, he became a college professor. No, not so much. Hi, Carol. How are you? 2019 report, the U.S. ranked number one best prepared country to handle a pandemic. A report from the Nuclear Threat Initiative, the old NTI, and Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, the old JHCHS, which we all know, in late 2019, ranked the United States as the best prepared country to handle a pandemic. Who was the president during 2019? Who was that president? Was it Barack Obama? No, it was Donald Trump. Anyway, the report, the Global Health Security Index, was developed with guidance from an international panel of experts from 13 countries with research by the Economist Intelligence Unit. What the? Really? The report also noted that the flaws in U.S. preparedness, including factors like social unrest, terrorism, and low public trust in the federal government. Hold on, let's try that again. Factors like social unrest, terrorism, and low public trust in the federal government. National Security Advisor John Bolton, remember, he eliminated the NSC's Office of Global Health Security and Biodefense in a reorganization effort. We heard about this because Donald Trump had wiped out the emergency preparedness unit with regard to all this coronavirus, any kind of pandemic. It was wrong. Rear Admiral Timothy Ziemer reportedly was ousted as senior director and no replacement was named. FactCheck.org determined that the matter amounted to a reorganization, that members of the NSC pandemic office were shifted to other groups and others took over some of the top officials' duties. So remember Donald Trump got rid of the NSC and everybody's going to die. Bull crap. Here's something interesting with regard to the CDC. Coronavirus mortality rates in the U.S. increased dramatically by age group. This is February the 12th through March the 16th. Data from 2,499 new corona cases where the age and hospitalization status of the patient were unknown. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. 0% age 0 to 19. 0.1% those aged 20 to 44. 0.5% those aged 45 to 54. That's me. 2.7% those aged 65 to 74. 4.3% 75 to 84. 10.4% those 85 and older. All right, so the older you get, the worse off you're going to be. So, Mom, stay at home. I'll call you shortly. Joe Biden increasingly shows that he is out of touch with reality. He is, guys, I don't know how he remains the front runner in the Democrat Party, and there are already people who are floating the idea of the governor of Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, being the candidate. Honestly, if I were a Democrat, I'd be freaking out right now. Here's Joe Biden. There's a round table, I guess, a national round table, talking about how that when he left the vice presidency, he became a professor. And no, he didn't.
And so there's a lot we can do, but when I left the United States Senate, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and
I'm thinking he was a nutty professor.
I've spent a lot of time, and the University of Delaware has the Biden School there as well.
Yeah, great. You had a school named after you. What does that have to do with anything?
I spent a lot of time on campus with college students, but it's not just.
And the thing is, when I saw a college co-ed, I would just grab her by the head and just smell her hair, just out of nowhere. So where was I? Applesauce? Are we getting applesauce tonight? Jell-O? All right, let's go. In the UK records indicate 43 coronavirus deaths in the last 24 hours compared to 87 yesterday. New infections leveling out. Gasp, shriek, optimism. We can't have that. We can't have that. Joe Biden. Could you imagine Joe Biden as a professor? Walking up to the blackboard. Hey, my name is Joe Applesauce. Where's the applesauce? Here's Joe Biden talking to, I believe this is NBC reporter, about Trump's approval rating doing actually really well with regard to his handling of this crisis, and debating over whether or not it was about his handling of the crisis or his being the president.
I noticed that the president's numbers of the public have gone up in handling this crisis, but they haven't gone up in terms of his presidency.
Gallup did show he is now at 49% job approval.
Yeah.
Which is a reversal from a few weeks ago.
Well, let's just get me to the applesauce.
So it's just an interesting development. It does suggest that the American people see him as a stronger leader than you've been maybe characterizing him.
Well, I hope that he's so strong that he's up way above that, because we need the help now. We need help now.
Okay. Oh, he's doing that well? Well, then I guess we need help now, because he's... Anthony Fauci, the Dr. Anthony Fauci, and I had, originally when I saw Anthony Fauci, I kind of thought maybe deep stater kind of guy. I don't think so necessarily. He's just a bureaucrat. Part is I enjoy my Diet Coke from Wendy's. It's not an ad for Wendy's, by the way. He got a little frustrated yesterday talking to a reporter who asked him about the WHO praising China's response to the coronavirus. Among other things, here is Anthony Fauci actually showing emotion.
Under his leadership, they've done very well. He has been all over this. I was on the phone with him a few.
He's talking about the president of the United States. He's saying Donald Trump has done a really good job. He's worked in other administrations. Let's hear that again.
They've done very well. He has been all over this. I was on the phone with him a few hours ago, leading a WHO call.
Praising China's transparency, sir?
No, I'm not talking about China. You asked me about Tedros.
World Health Organization praising China for its transparency and leadership on their response to the pandemic.
The WHO is praising China's transparency. Are you out of your effing mind? Are you out of your mind? China's transparency? Dear God, where are you from? Are you a throwback to what, Pravda?
You know, I can't comment.
Let's hear that again.
Because, I mean, I don't have any viewpoint into it. I mean, I don't even know what your question is.
Can I follow up on that phone call, please? Welcome to the game.
Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The U.S. Media, and I don't even know if it's media from the U.S., could be somewhere else. I don't know. But honestly, China's transparency, if China were transparent, this effing thing would have ended in December. All right? It would have happened in December. But China lied and people died, ladies and gentlemen. The World Health Organization, that is probably as corrupt as the United Nations. This happened yesterday. WHO Director Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus nailed it. Said the United States Health Agency, or the United Nations Health Agency, has repeatedly called for the heads of state to lead a whole of the government response, and said that Trump was leading by example. Okay, what I'm trying to say is this guy, old Director Ted, says that the president's doing a good job despite what the American media and Democrats are saying.
You were pretty praiseworthy of President Trump's efforts, and I'm just wondering...
I want you to listen to how desperate this reporter is in setting up the question to, make the president look terrible. All right, here it is.
You said he's doing a great job, and I'm just wondering, that President Trump has, from the beginning, sort of minimized the importance of this.
That's editorializing. That is not a question. That is editorializing.
At the very start, and then is now talking about churches that might be packed in the United States come Easter time.
And everybody knows that 1 million people are going to die if that happens if you go to church.
How can
Listen how frustrated that guy. So, seriously, don't you think this president is terrible?
Concerned to you about
He's so like, listen to that. Hold on. He's like a little fop. Listen to this.
In the United States come Easter time. How concerned are you about
How concerned are you about like everybody dying because Donald Trump is terrible?
The decisions that he's making, or do you really think he's doing a great job across the board? Thanks.
That only took 40 seconds.
Yeah, I stand by what I said. As you know, one of the recommendations from WHO is the whole of government approach involving all sectors. And the principal, which is the head of state, taking responsibility and leading the whole response. And that's exactly what he's doing.
What? He's doing a good job. He's doing it. The WHO, the WHO, says he's doing a good job. The new Senate stimulus bill would ban companies owned by Trump or his children from receiving any bailout money, which is crap. And I'll tell you why. Because the government has told Donald Trump, and he is a businessman, he owns hotels, that his hotels, there you go, even though they have been told to shutter, that the government has killed everything as far as business, he can't get any money for it to pay his employees. It's crap, okay? Provision of the massive bill prohibits business controlled by the president, vice president, members of Congress, heads of executive departments from receiving loans or investments from Treasury programs, will not prevent members of Congress who have massive stock holdings in hotels. I already know this. The children, spouses, and in-laws of the aforementioned principals are also included in this prohibition. Now, it shouldn't happen because the government told them to shut down. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, who has proven once again that he is a failure. He has been wrong about everything. He was a presidential candidate for about 3 minutes. Says half of all New Yorkers will get coronavirus, warns people not to cling to Trump's false hope of reopening by Easter as doctors describe apocalyptic surge in patients across overwhelmed hospitals. And yes, I agree with that. Hospitals in New York are being overrun. It's a very scary time in New York. Here is Bill de Blasio, failed leader, and proving every day that he continues to fail
in this fight ahead. And we can say, compared to last week, we've seen real progress. The 400 that came in yesterday from FEMA, the 2,000 we expect by the end of this week, on top of that from the federal government. A big step in the right direction.
Whoa, that's from the federal government. That's a positive. I believe the president is in charge of that.
But only one step more we must receive, and we must receive quickly. And that's what we're working on every single day.
Yeah, well, we're working on that too.
The goal for New York City is...
Because, realize that New York obviously is a hotbed of this, but also New York feels like that it is always, and New York has always felt like it is the center of everything else, and nothing else matters.
15,000
And by the way, you idiot, New York City, New York State should be the most prepared for an epidemic, a pandemic, should be the most prepared for a terrorist attack in the history of mankind, should have all of this should have been in order, but was not. The governor of New York had the opportunity to buy thousands of ventilators in 2015, turned it down. This moron has been more focused on LGBTQ restroom labels than preparing for something like this. So as far as this doofus, he has no credibility whatsoever.
So the numbers that we have from this week gets us about a sixth of the way there, and that is important. But we got a lot more to do.
I really have. I don't want to hear from him anymore. Hello, Doug. How you doing, buddy? Glad to have you joining me. Chicago, visibly frustrated with reports of gatherings throughout Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot delivered a stern warning to those who continue to get together during the COVID-19 epidemic. We will shut it down and you will be arrested. Stay at home. Only go out for essentials. You have to readjust your thinking. Be smart. Not only will our police be deployed to shut them down if you are not abiding by these orders, we will be forced to shut down the parks and lakefront. The situation is deadly serious, and we need to take it deadly seriously. Lightfoot added that spending long periods of time outdoors anywhere is not allowed. Are you out of your effing mind? Are you out of your effing mind, Mayor? Spending long periods of time outdoors anywhere is not allowed, and neither is going to closed spaces like playgrounds. You cannot go on long bike rides. Playgrounds are shut down. You must abide by the order. Outside is for a brief respite, not for 5Ks. I can't emphasize enough that we abide by these rules. You know what I have to say? If I was in Chicago, suck it. Okay? No way, Mayor Lori Lightfoot. I'm going to go out and enjoy the Michigan Avenue. I'm going to walk up and down. I'm going to walk by the lake. Hello, Dave Campbell in Chicago. You know what? Are you serious, Dave? Dave, are you staying at home? Are you not going out on your balcony and singing? Are you not even walking down the street, maintaining your social distance? Are you out of your effing mind? Is this a zombie apocalypse? Is this a nuclear holocaust? Why in the hell can't people walk around a little bit? Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. We don't have a vaccine. We don't have a treatment. Chicago has an A for preparedness, but we are planning for some real worst-case scenarios. This according to Dr. Allison Arwady from the Chicago Department of Public Health. Okay? The next 2 or 3 weeks will be the most important time to do everything we can to flatten the curve. Doing that is what will keep our hospitals going. We have a choice. Dave, get out, man. Get out in Chicago. Dear Lord in heaven, if I was in Chicago, you think I'm going to stay in my house and lock the door? Are you out of your mind? L.A. Mayor Eric Garcetti has criticized premature optimism and false hope on the coronavirus for Donald Trump. Pushing back against premature optimism in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, saying leaders who suggest that we are on the verge of business as usual are putting lives at risk. 1 million people will die if people go to church. Lawrence O'Donnell. I can't say that strong enough. Giving people false hope will crush their spirits and will kill more people. You are such an ass. This will not kill most of us, he said. Thanks for the obvious. It will kill a lot more people than we're used to dying around us. Garcetti is currently facing criticism for moving homeless people out of encampments into recreation centers in residential areas against the guidelines of the CDC, which warn against doing so in the middle of a community spread of coronavirus. But he's a Democrat, so he'll end up effing up everything. Hold on, that's good. Good. Oh, yeah. Mark Cuban was on The View. Refused to take the bait. Sonny Hostin, who is a co-host on The View, and as I like to call it, the Harpies from Hell show. Wow. I mean, honestly, wow. Who watches the show? Who watches the show? Some people do, obviously, but dear God, I would, honestly, if I had to watch the show with my wife, I would expect at least 3 apologies. You know, it's like watching a chick flick with your wife. I'm good for 3 apologies. Okay, if I have to watch Sweet Home Alabama with Reese Witherspoon, I get 3 apologies. Okay, if I had to watch The View, it's like, honey, I can screw up 3 times because I watched The View with you. Here is Sonny Hostin trying to bait Mark Cuban, the billionaire, into attacking Donald Trump over his COVID-19 response.
In January, though, experts were raising the alarm about the coronavirus to President Trump, and some say that his refusal to respond quickly, efficiently, appropriately enough cost lives, American lives. What are your thoughts about his leadership during this pandemic?
I'm not a fan of President Trump's, but I'm not going to rip on him either.
What?
Any senator could have stood up and said something and screamed loud. Any congressperson could have. Nobody did. And so I didn't have high expectations from President Trump, but I'm not going to throw him under the bus. I think it was a failure of leadership across the entire political spectrum. Anybody who had access to information that...
How has it been when the president at the end of January shut down all travel from China?
Typical citizens did not. Could have been screaming loud and clear, and nobody did.
And we do know that certain people had information, and they didn't share it with everyone, and they, in fact, may have profited off of it. But Trump's approval ratings matches his all-time high, 49%, the highest mark since he's been in office, actually. And are we...
Because he's doing a good job, doofus.
Maybe underestimating how Americans are viewing his handling of this crisis?
No, I mean, look, he's doing the best he can. And here's what I'll say, and again, I'm not a fan of his, but what's real is real. When you have imperfect information, you make imperfect decisions. We're not in a ready, aim, fire mode. We're in a ready, fire, aim mode. And that makes it tough. And so no matter... Or
if you're in the media, just a ready, aim, fire mode surrounding Donald Trump with guns. Dave says, and hi, Mikey Rabe, how are you, my brother? Miss you. Dave says, we are laying low in Chicago. But what Lightfoot did was due to people jogging, congregating, playing basketball, which, who cares? It's not a problem. Most people are social distancing. By parks, I mean playgrounds, Dave says. I get it. Yeah. Dave says, but yes, we take walks, pick up, carry out, etc. You are a merchant of death, Dave. How dare you? How dare you leave your house? You are killing everyone around you. Don't you realize that? I hope that Chipotle takeout is worth the lives of thousands that you have exposed to the coronavirus, even though you don't even know if you have it. But death merchant Dave in Chicago, killing people by getting out. Kathy Griffin is mentally ill. Dear God in heaven, what a psychotic... Wow. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There's Kathy Griffin in the hospital. Should be a mental hospital. There you go. Let me move over a little bit. Make some room for it. Dear God. So she checked herself into a hospital with unbearably painful symptoms. I was sent to the COVID-19 isolation ward in the major hospital ER from separate urgent care facility. She tweeted on Wednesday, the hospital couldn't test me for hashtag corona because of CDC Pence task force restrictions. Griffin shared 2 photos in her tweet, which appeared to be to show the 59-year-old in a hospital bed with a glass door while wearing a protective mask over her nose and mouth. If diagnosed with coronavirus, she would join like Tom Hanks, who had it too. She doesn't even know. She just had unbearably painful symptoms, and she went to the hospital and, of course, blamed Mike Pence for it because she's mentally ill. I don't think you're going to need the anti-malarials. I don't think you're going to need that. I think you're going to need the mentals. I think you're going to need some sort of Prozac-Lu or Lexapro or something, because you're nuts. You're nuts. Here's a viral video. Oh, I've got something really cool from Weird Al Yankovich. Coming up that's going to make your day, going to make you laugh. All right? Hello, Margie. Video posted online. A man feverishly starts spraying his cup of coffee with antibacterial disinfectant while sitting in a Tim Horton drive-through window. Apparently, this is in Canada. Up there in Canada, they go to the Tim Horton area again and get yourself a cup of coffee. My God, you don't want to get that coronavirus up here, so this is what you do. Spray, spray, spray. Spray, spray, spray. Spray, spray, spray. Spray, spray, spray. Wow, dude, wow. Yuck.
Somebody, another component in Renton has it.
Yeah, in Hutt, Ontario.
So the fast food workers are kind of laughing at him, and he's spraying the bottle, telling the workers, no offense, I just think you're going to kill me, so I'm just going to spray everything with this stuff. And Apparently a person behind him honks and tells him to hurry up, and he tells him to F off. I think that's coming. Spray, spray, spray. Spray. You're going to taste that coffee, you're going to go, this tastes like crap. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Wow. You're insane. Oh, he told him to F off there. Oh, that is fantastic. That is wow. Oh, God. The hunt for China's patient zero, the first person to test positive in Wuhan's infamous food market, was a woman selling live shrimps. It's literally in the headline. It says live shrimps. It's live shrimp. Miss Wee lived near the market, had a fever on December the 11th, the report said. Thinking it was the flu, she went to a small clinic while carrying on working. She sought help from a big hospital 5 days later with symptoms worsened. 57-year-old, her full name is Wee Yixon. Every winter I suffer from the flu. I thought it was this flu. She's still alive. Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention said in January that the coronavirus had been passed on to humans by wildlife sold as food at the Hunan seafood wholesale market where Miss Wee worked. Miss Wee worked. So it could be bat soup. I heard bat soup was one of the things. In the UK, no, not in the UK. In Israel, bats are falling from the sky, and of course that's a sign of the apocalypse. There you go. Bats falling from young bats showing no signs of trauma. In Israel are saying that it's the end of days. Dozens of bats have caused the end of days, have fallen out of the sky in a region of Israel, and just fallen there. Apparently, Ramat Gan was walking through a park, saw the bats, shared 4 photos of dead bats on the ground before another resident several miles away, posted a video of the same sight. So apparently bats are dying. They're showing no signs of trauma, and that can mean only one thing to Chinese people. How about some bat soup? Because I'm going to tell you, doesn't that look yummy? Doesn't that look yummy there? That is some seriously fresh bat. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Do we need to have something nice from Weird Al Yankovic? Steve Martin has been on the web. He's he's playing the banjo, and that is supposedly supposed to make us all great, feel good, and everything. I love Steve Martin. He's my idol. Weird Al has decided to do the same thing with the accordion. This is L.A. Mansion. Okay, there you go. That's nice. It's playing the accordion. That's pretty cool. But here is a special public service announcement that Weird Al is sharing with all of us. And seriously, if you're concerned about COVID-19, pay attention. Remember those old-timey movies that some of us used to watch when we were kids and in health class? And, we'd get the daily. When I was a kid, you'd get to go in and watch a film strip or a video. And this is one that might put things in perspective for you from Weird Al with regard to COVID-19.
What are germs? Germs are tiny, tiny little creatures that want to kill you. The human body is made out of many yucky parts, and it's important to keep germs away from all
There we go.
Germs are everywhere, on the inside of windows, on pencils, on apples, in the U.S. mail, between your piggies, and especially on dirty, filthy cowboys. Bicycles are another breeding ground for germs. Never ever touch a bicycle with your bare hands.
No.
And dogs are full of germs too, so never let a dog eat your hair.
No, it's terrible.
Germs can enter the body in a number of ways. Whenever you get a railroad spike impaled through your head, germs
that happened last week.
Access to your brain. Even a tiny cut or scrape can be deadly. As soon as you're injured, immediately cover the open wound with crazy glue to keep the germs from getting in. How else can we fight this menace? One thing you can do is go to your doctor and have him look up your nose to see if there are any germs hiding there. When you take a shower, be sure to wash everywhere, especially the really stinky parts. And make sure you wash your hands 30 or 40 times a day, or else a giant talking bar of soap will appear in your bedroom one night, and no one will ever hear from you again. Always burn your clothes immediately after wearing them. Whenever possible, have your dinner prepared inside a hyperbaric chamber.
I am so glad that I got that hyperbaric chamber in our kitchen.
Rinse your mouth with hydrochloric acid after every meal.
Yeah.
And if all else fails, run. Run for your lives before the germs get you too.
There you go. All right. Good night. Good night. Kiss? Okay. Good night. God, I love Weird Al. Hello, Annette, my sis. How are you? Glad to see you. Oh, this is a video I did yesterday. I'm going to play a little sample of this. I had the audacity to go out yesterday in my neighborhood and drive around. And I got reamed. There were people out. They were walking around and they were riding their bikes and they were mowing their yards. And people got really mad at old Rob here because I suggested that we actually get out and maintain our social distance and not lock ourselves in houses and hoard our toilet paper. Here's a little bit of the video I did yesterday that, people freaked out. Let's turn it around. There you go. Let's see some people who are out there actually living their lives today. Here's a guy. He's that's my voice. He's a lawn mowing dude. He's dead because, he's out in public. He shouldn't be. There's some people walking, dead people walking in the neighborhood because, you're not supposed to be out. Here's the deal. Honestly, if you're out, if you listen to Democrats, every one of these people is already dead. Oh, my God, there's somebody with a jogging stroller. This is nuts. Go home, save yourself, get toilet paper. Here's presumably a mom and her daughter jogging again. What kind of example are you serving for your children to actually get them outside and exercise? Ridiculous. What the hell are you thinking? Oh, God, another convertible. He's dead. Dead. Absolutely dead. Oh, my gosh. Walking through the neighborhood. Look, there are kids out there. There's a kid bouncing a basketball. Did you use sanitizer on that ball? There's a lady walking along here, oblivious, got earbuds in. There's a guy, oh my God, mowing his lawn. Doesn't even know that he's dead. Woman walking her dog here. I hope you enjoy walking your dog. It's the last time. Yesterday. I'm sure they're all dead right now. Today, because, of coronavirus. Yep. Coming up at the stop sign. Look, there are more people out there.
All right, here we go into my neighborhood here.
What is wrong with this country that we have to get out of our homes, even though we're told by our government that we have to give up everything, only buy 4 rolls of toilet paper? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Going home here, folks. Going home. I'm going to do my podcast for those of you who want to check it out at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be on live.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. That was my irresponsible drive home yesterday that I got a lot of heat on Facebook from everybody because I am not buying into all of this stuff. Do I want to get sick? No. Don't want to get sick. Don't want to get sick. No. Do want to be positive and do want to say, hey, man, if you're not in one of these risk groups, get your butt to work. Let's open our businesses enough. Here's a douchebag. North Carolina man. Actually tested positive. Justin Rhodes, 31 years old. He was largely asymptomatic, had a little tickly throat, just a little tickly throat. Decided to go ahead and get out. And here's the thing. If you've tested positive for this and you go out, you're a douchebag and you probably need to go to jail for a little while.
Definitely tested positive for coronavirus.
Well, you also tested positive for stupidity because you have one of those idiotic neck tattoos. Man, do you look stupid.
Definitely was asked to self-quarantine for 14 days. 14 to 21 days.
This is one of those guys who would give someone chlamydia, then blame them for it.
Asymptomatic. My throat's a little itchy, but other than that, I'm not coughing. I feel great.
Oh, he has gauged ears. That makes him even more stupid. The gauged ears where they take shower curtain rings and put them in their ears. He's 31. Dear God in heaven, when did we stop being adults?
Nah, ain't no toilet paper.
Ain't no toilet paper. Yeah, yo, word. Word. Look, I got my price tag on my hat. Yo, word. I'm totally cool. Yeah, you know what? You're a moron. Get out of here. A couple of things before I go that I think you're going to enjoy. A lot of people are having to, major news network anchors are having to do their show at home. And it's funny because you don't realize, my friend Mark Reardon at KMOX in St. Louis, he set up a broadcast studio at home, and I've been doing this for a while. Let me show you something real quick here. So it may look that I'm sitting above the Washington, D.C. Capitol, but I'm not. Right behind me, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wall. And the dogs are barking now. I shouldn't have knocked on the wall. Anyway, yeah, it's not Washington, D.C. It's just a wall. If you can see the rest of this set, you might be a little surprised. I'm not wearing pants, among other things. Probably shouldn't have shared that. Anyway, it's funny. Here is Shannon Bream, national host of Fox News, showing her home studio now.
Oh, hey, come on in. It's almost showtime. Join us. 11 o'clock, Fox News at night.
Look at that. Wait, hold on. Look at this again.
Oh, hey, come on in. It's almost showtime. Join us.
Got your big screen TV back there? You're amateurs. You people are amateurs. Look at this. I don't need a big screen TV. I got a green screen back here. But I want to tell you, I love the floral pattern on the bed. Seriously, you've got it folded down. It's a little dated. I'm just going to be honest. The rose theme, maybe a little 80s. Maybe a little 80s. The red for sheet covers, not so sure it's working for me. Seriously. But otherwise, it looks great. Meanwhile, these guys are like, okay, why are you sharing that we're in the bedroom here with the teleprompter and everything? Say, when we're done, can we go get some of that chicken you made earlier? That is spectacular. That is so incredible. You know what's amazing is that for years, anchors had to go to multi-million-dollar studios and radio broadcasters. This is kind of interesting because I worked in terrestrial radio forever, and terrestrial radio, you had to have a studio that cost $100,000, and then you need to have a broadcast tower that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to pay to the electric bill and all that. And look, suckers, I'm doing this with a webcam and a green screen.
Saw a guy named J.L. Colvin. He is a comedian on I think I saw this on Twitter, and I thought this was really funny because this is one of the most spot on Trump impersonations, regardless of politics. I'm just admiring not only the impersonation he's doing, but also what he's saying. It's really, really funny. Here is a comedian. Remember, J.L. Colvin is his name. Enjoy. This is the last thing I'm going to play tonight.
250 years ago, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, whose full name, he was Jewish, so his full name might have been like Christowitz, but God rose him from the dead on a holiday we now call Easter. Not a lot of people know that, but it's called Easter.
This guy is good.
It's when Jesus and the 2 Corinthians met the Easter bunny and came back from the dead. It's a beautiful story. Very important for the Christians like me. And I have decided, I'm announcing today, we are going to bring back the economy on Easter Sunday. Because God, who, to be honest, is, he's a good God. He's done some strong things. Let's be honest, his record is not so great though. He brought one guy back on Easter Sunday, and it was his son, so it was kind of biased. But we're going to bring back the entire economy on Easter Sunday. And at that point, I think basically I'm better than God. So when we do it, we're going to do it toughly. We're going to do it with great compassion.
Going to do it bigly.
Great strength, tremendous strength, and also toughness. Easter Sunday, we're going to put it on pay-per-view. God versus Trump. Who brings back more people on Easter Sunday? We're doing it. I'm going to fire Fauci probably on Good Friday. And they call it Great Friday for Trump. And that's it. So let's do it. Let's get...
Okay, that was good. That was like Frank Caliendo, George Bush kind of stuff. Wow, that was fun. Hey, guys, want to thank you for joining me tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope put things in perspective, and also hope entertained you as well. If you can help out other people, you don't need me to preach. You're going to do the right thing. We always do. Dave Campbell, right? Best effing Trump ever. Best Trump ever. Wow. Incredible. Dave, if you do me a favor, share on social media with others so they watch this show. Okay. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching me. I appreciate it. We're all going to be fine. We're going to get through this, and someday we're going to look back and we're going to go, really, 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 and hopefully some people will be held accountable for what they've done to the country. In the meantime, don't be afraid. God bless you. See you soon.